The cafeteria went silent. 100 eyes froze on the sound of a sharp slap echoing against the walls. A shy girl with downcast eyes, cheeks turning red from the sting, stood trembling as laughter rippled from a corner. The hand that struck her belonged to Ryan, the arrogant son of the school's CEO, who thought money gave him power over everyone. But before anyone could process the humiliation, before the whispers even spread through the room, something no one expected happened. The quietest girl in school, the one everyone overlooked, grabbed the nearest chair, lifted it with trembling arms. And 5 seconds later, it crashed across Ryan's back with a thunder that silenced the world. Nobody in that cafeteria would ever forget what they saw next. Maya was never the type of girl who wanted attention. She always sat in the last row of the classroom, scribbling notes in a second-hand notebook, wearing shoes that had seen better days. Her family couldn't afford much after her father passed away, and her mother worked double shifts just to keep food on the table. The weight of silence had become her armor. People barely noticed her, and that was how she survived. But being invisible didn't protect her from cruelty. Ryan, the CEO's son, ruled the school like he owned it. His designer clothes, his smug grin, his entourage of followers, they all fed into his belief that he was untouchable. And Maya, with her fragile presence, became his favorite target. He mocked her stutter when she tried to answer in class, sneered at her thrifted clothes, and once even tossed her lunch tray to the floor, calling it garbage food for garbage people. She never fought back. She never spoke up. She just cleaned up her mess, head bowed, tears hidden behind her hair. But silence doesn't mean weakness. Inside, Maya carried storms no one dared to see. Nights spent crying into a pillow. Days spent pushing through the shame of being laughed at, and dreams where she stood tall, defending herself. They had been boiling, waiting for the moment to break. The breaking point came on that fateful day in the cafeteria. Ryan's friends cornered her first, blocking her path as she tried to walk to an empty table. They made jokes about her shoes, about her clothes, about how someone like her didn't belong in a school where kids of CEOs, doctors, and lawyers studied. Ryan stepped forward, smirking as if he were performing for an audience, and then, in front of everyone, he slapped her across the face. The room gasped, but no one moved. Teachers weren't there, and his friends only laughed. For a split second, Maya's body froze in shock, her face burning with shame. She heard the echo of every insult, every cruel whisper that had haunted her. But then, something shifted. Her breath steadied, her hands curled into fists. She wasn't going to cry this time. She wasn't going to hide. When her fingers brushed against the cold metal of the chair behind her, she felt strength rush into her veins. She lifted it, surprising even herself, and with a burst of courage, she slammed it down across Ryan's back. The sound was thunderous. The cafeteria fell silent. Ryan stumbled forward, his arrogance shattered in an instant. Everyone stared. The shy girl nobody defended, the one they all ignored, had just done what no one dared. Maya stood, trembling but unbroken, her chest rising and falling with the weight of years of silence finally released. And that moment changed everything. The aftermath was chaos. Ryan groaned, clutching his back, his friends shouting in disbelief. Some students cheered quietly under their breath, others filmed on their phones. Maya, still trembling, dropped the chair and tried to steady her breath. Fear crept in. What had she done? Would she be expelled? Would her mother be called? The principal stormed in after being alerted. Ryan, furious and humiliated, demanded Maya's punishment, shouting that his father owned this school and that she no right to touch him. But the truth had been witnessed by everyone. Videos spread like wildfire. Ryan's slap, his laughter, and then Maya's retaliation. For once, his money couldn't rewrite the story. The evidence was everywhere. Maya was called into the office, her heart racing. She expected suspension, maybe even worse. But what she didn't expect was the wave of students who stood outside the office doors, waiting. They weren't there for Ryan. They were there for her. Some had tears in their eyes, others whispered how brave she was. For the first time, she wasn't invisible. For the first time, she wasn't alone. The principal questioned her, and Maya spoke through tears. She explained how long Ryan had bullied her, how she endured every insult, every humiliation. She had never wanted violence, but something in her snapped after years of silence. The principal, stern at first, softened as he saw the videos, heard her voice crack under the weight of pain. He knew the truth. Ryan had crossed the line, and Maya had only defended herself. Ryan's father arrived, Furious at the embarrassment, he demanded Maya's expulsion, but the school board, under pressure from parents, students, and the evidence spreading online, refused. Instead, Ryan was suspended, forced to attend counseling, his reputation forever scarred. For once, his father's wealth couldn't shield him. Maya thought her life would crumble after that day, but something extraordinary happened. Students who had once ignored her began sitting with her at lunch, teachers praised her courage quietly, and one girl who had also been bullied by Ryan before, hugged Maya and whispered, "You gave me the strength I never had." Maya didn't become the most popular girl in school. She didn't need to. What she became was stronger. She realized her voice mattered, her presence mattered, and she could never again let anyone treat her as invisible. Her mother, when she found out, wept and held her tightly. "You finally stood up for yourself," she whispered. "Your father would be so proud." And so, the shy girl who once lived in silence walked into school the next day with her head held higher than ever before. She wasn't defined by poverty, by bullying, or by Ryan's slap. She was defined by the moment she found her courage, the moment she proved that even the quietest soul can roar when pushed too far. The story reminds us that silence doesn't equal weakness, and kindness doesn't mean allowing abuse. Sometimes, finding your courage means standing up not just for yourself, but for everyone who has ever been silenced.